The Void-Tek system comprises of the main Void-Tek former pieces, which is a stack of 8. We have the spare structural fins, which are supplied pre-cut and taped on both sides, and we have some spare interlocking flaps. Going back to our stack of Void-Tek pieces, they're very simply and quickly deployed, and the internal flaps simply pull down and interlock to hold the piece in its correct shape. As you can see here, the main strength of the Void-Tek is in the main structural fin. So when cutting the Void-Tek to shape, you should try to ensure that as much of the main fin is left intact as possible. So coming back to the pile cap area, the first thing to do is to sweep the concrete blinding to ensure any debris is removed prior to the installation of the Void-Tek. Once the preparation has been done on the pile cap area, it's then important to take some measurements and set out how we're going to cut the Void-Tek to shape. So the minimum width that the Void-Tek should be cut down the length is 500 millimeters, which is why it's important to take the measurements and establish the plan for installing the Void-Tek sheets into place. So what we have here is a timber template cut to the correct diameter for the shape of the piles. Having taken the measurement of the position of the piles, we now move to the Void-Tek sheets and mark up the correct position ready to cut the Void-Tek to shape. So what we have here is the pile marked out onto the face of the Void-Tek sheet ready for cutting. So as you can see where we have to cut, it actually cuts out some of the structural fin. So having marked up where we have to cut, we're now going to cut the Void-Tek with a simple Stanley knife. So as you can see, this has exposed the central fin and the 2 side flaps. So we now have to cut the main structural fin, and then we remove the interlocking flaps. So with the waste removed, as you can see, very minimal waste from what we've cut out. We then mark out the bottom sheet, ready to cut that. So now we have cut the shape of the pile in the Void-Tek. As you can see, the extremities of the cut are very flimsy and have to be strengthened. This is why we supply the spare components for the Void-Tek pieces. So first of all, we will remove the tape and we will insert that into place. So having inserted the 2 interlocking flaps to replace the 2 that we cut out, that maintains the rigidity of the Void-Tek piece. We're now going to deal with the flexibility of the extremities by cutting one of the fins to length. So we have the structural fin cut, which is pre-taped and pre-cut. So having folded this into a Z shape, this gets placed internally to provide that extra strength. So what we have here is the second pile head cut into the Void-Tek. As you can see, this one falls centrally in between 2 fins, so we haven't had to cut out a main structural fin. So as you can see, it's a lot stronger, a lot more rigid. So in this instance, where no structural fin has been removed, all we need to do is insert one interlocking flap. So having installed the first Void-Tek piece, we're now going to carry on and install the product over the entire area of the pile cap.